Hello, and welcome to Not for Thought, podcast channel designed for psychonauts and psychonautics. Today, I'm going to be talking, about the first part of my Shambhala experience. I'm sorry I didn't take more videos. My plan was originally to just take a bunch of videos and compile them together and do like a vlog kind of thing, but I didn't take that many. My phone didn't have service, and I just didn't really see the point of doing that. I wanted to be much more in the moment, so yeah, I'm going to talk about the drive there and the line that I experienced. Yeah, it was a lot, man. This is why I'm going to probably split it up into like maybe 3 or 4 different vlogs. Or shit, podcasts. Fuck. My bad. I'm gonna try and like get to the good stuff as quick as I can, and not like ramble on like I'm doing right now. But anyway, stick with me. It was a fucking awesome experience. It's a week and a half ish later since I got back from the festival. Yeah, I'm still so obsessed with what happened. I couldn't get it out of my head for since I discovered the festival, but also for like the 2 weeks leading up to the festival. It was just like the only thing I could fucking think about, man. Anyways, so I'm gonna crack open a beer really quick and get started here. Give me just a second. Alright, so let's get into it. So on Radiate, I originally downloaded the app to find a ride to Shambhala. And what do you know, I was granted just that somehow. I met up with a really, really nice dude. I'm not going to say his name or really anybody's name that I met there, because that's not my right to disclose that. They were really cool people. They don't need me talking about this stuff out in the open. So I'm going to keep their names discreet. And yeah, so we'll just call him Mr. Man or some shit. he he was a really cool dude, and he offered to give me a ride. Well, he was asking if anybody wanted to ride with him up to Shambhala on Radiate, and I hopped on that so fast. I was like, yes, me. And anyways, so yeah, he was like a really friendly dude, awesome dude, and he lives near me, so that's nice. I'll hopefully go with him to Sham every year, and yeah, whatever else he's down to go and see with me. But anyways, so it was about 20 hours nonstop, man. We were fucking troopers, dude. We fucking we tried to take a nap, and I was just way too fucking excited, and so was my homie. He was just he was feeling the same as I was. We were just like, let's fucking get there, man. Let's just get this drive over with. It was like 17 and a half if we would have just like no gas needed at all and just drove straight there, and no sleep at all, no stops, no peeing or anything, It was a 17 and a half, so to get there in 20 is pretty fucking good. And we did stop at one point, like I said, to get a little bit of a nap, but we couldn't fucking do it, man. We were just way too excited. Yeah, it was an interesting drive. Somehow the guy who drove did it. I mean, he did it so fucking well, man. He was like the best driver I've ever seen. He did a wonderful job. And anyways, I'll skip past that. There's nothing all that important in the drive, although I did throw up at one point, which is unusual for me. I have a pretty strong stomach, but there was this like really windy road in Montana that made me puke on the way there and on the way back, dude. Both ways it got me. The like same fucking path. Because it's just so windy and you're going up a hill, and the guy who was driving, he did a great job, like I said, but he was going pretty quick. And yeah, it just got to me, man. I also didn't eat on the way there. I didn't eat. I meant to eat like at some point at a gas station or something, but I just like couldn't get it down, man. I tried to get some sandwiches, but I was just like motion sick for way too much of the, or just at the end there. Anyways, fuck. See, I knew I was gonna ramble on. All right, so we eventually get to the fucking line, and there's this like dirt path you drive on, and there's like these little signs that like have like little inspirational quotes on them and whatnot. But we eventually get into the actual line, and it was interesting because all of the guy who drove me, man, I need to like think of a name. We'll call him Ben. Ben, that's not his real name, obviously. He had like a group of friends that he was meeting up with, right? And they just so happened to pull in at the, well, some of them, no, pretty much all of them. We're talking like a 15-person crew. Pretty much all of them showed up at the exact same time as we did, as Ben and I, the guy who drove. So, yeah, that was really cool that we all kind of got there at the same time. Anyways, it was really intimidating when we first got there, in my opinion. Everybody is like, I was told that Shambhala was a much more older generation of a festival because it is like 25, 24 years old. This next year will be 25. And I don't know, it just made me think that, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh no, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so everybody's like very, very young, or at least they were in the line, man. It was a very intimidating environment, you know. Everybody's like, every guy's got his shirt off, all the girls are like in bikinis, and everybody is just like, I don't know, everybody's just like in shape and shit, and it's just like everybody's in their early 20s, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, man, competition is here, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, it was just very intimidating environment at first, but I warmed up to it so fucking fast. And as the festival went on, I did notice like a very widespread age group, you know. Like there were very young people and there were older people. I mean, I saw people of all ages, honestly, except for like, you know, like crippling old. So anyways, we're in the line, and it is hot as fuck, dude. The sun is just beaming down on us, keep in mind. And Ben introduces me to two new people. They were very, very friendly. They gave me a big ol' hug. Both of them gave me a hug. I was a little awkward because while we were in like this dirt path up to the actual line, this dude just like is walking around with a big old bag in his hands. And Ben, the driver, is like, "What's this guy got?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. It looks like a shirt or something." He's like, "No, it's not a shirt. It's like a bag." And I was like, "Okay, let's see." And he walks up next to us and he's like, "You guys want some?" I'm like, still a little lost as to what's happening because we got a little bit of, we got wax pens when we got into Canada. Because I was like, I gotta try some Canadian weed, and like, we need something for the line, you know? Because we didn't expect to meet up with Ben's group right away, you know? We get some wax pens, and so I'm pretty baked. And so I'm just like really lost as to what's happening, and all of a sudden, Ben, the driver, pulls out of this bag like a handful of fucking mushrooms, dude. Like big ass mushrooms. And he like he's like holding them, and I'm like, I want some too, And he's like, oh, well, these are actually for you. And I was like, nah, I'll grab some more, man. And so he like sets them down and grabs this gigantic fucking mushroom and hands it to me, dude. Like the biggest mushroom I've ever seen. I've grown mushrooms before, but this thing was huge. It was like easily 3 grams in just one mushroom. Anyways, and Ben, the driver, the guy walks off and we're like, thank you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like it was the nicest shit ever, dude. Just sitting in the line, giving out shrooms. That's so dope. Man, that was a really cool experience. Anyways, so Ben, the driver, is like, he's like, dude, we should take him. We're here. Why not? And I'm like, oh, dude, I don't know. Are you sure? I was planning on taking shrooms later in the week. And he was like, nah, dude, we're taking them right now. And I was like, okay. So I snap off a piece of this gigantic mushroom and I throw it down. It was probably like maybe a half a gram of mushrooms, but I haven't taken mushrooms in, I don't know, a half a year at least. So, like, I would imagine my tolerance is pretty much non existent. Except, yeah, I mean, anyways, we're just sitting in line, man. And fast forward. So we meet up with the rest of the group, and one of them, well, I guess technically two people have a camper, and they were all kind of like storing stuff in the camper. Like 4 people were storing stuff in the camper, but 2 people were actually using it. If that makes sense. This is gonna get really confusing not being able to use names, but I'll try and keep it a little simple. Anyways, so we're sitting behind this trailer to like not die in the sun, man. It was so brutal, but it was such a crazy experience in the line. Cause keep in mind, I'm on like about a half a gram of shrooms, so everything's kind of weird, and I'm just like an awkward motherfucker sometimes. But they didn't seem to mind it too much. They welcomed me really, really well. They gave me like I said, they gave me big ol' hugs when they first met me, and yeah, I met up with, it was like 15 in total, maybe. No, probably like, yeah, 10 to 15 total. But at the start, it was like probably about half that. And I don't know, I just felt like I connected really well with these like 4 people. Like I said, I'm not going to name them. I connected really well with everybody. I'm going to say that right away. But there were like 4 people that I truly felt, I feel like I can never forget about. I feel like they're going to be people that I'm going to have to reach out, not have to, but I'm going to want to reach out to all the fucking time, and especially when Shambhala comes around. Because, yeah, I met some really, really cool people and people that genuinely want to be a part of my life, especially in the future with Shambhala. Anyways, so if anybody's curious about what people are doing in the line, drugs. Fucking drugs, dude. That's all people are doing. That's all people are talking about. For pretty much the entire fucking festival, honestly. I remember, like, the first time. So all these cars are, like, lined up in rows, right? And they're super cramped together. So sitting behind this trailer, it's like everybody's, like, knee to knee, shoulder to shoulder, cramped in. Like, it's not a very comfortable experience, especially when it's fucking hot as fuck. But it was fine. I'm not necessarily complaining because I loved the line, dude. It was so fun, and I got to meet everybody there, which was dope. And like everybody's doing drugs, man. Everybody's taking bumps here and fucking taking a shot of this there. And like alcohol isn't allowed into the festival, but pretty much everybody brought alcohol. Not just in the group that I was in, but I mean everywhere. People were like wandering around with like White Claws and shit. Anyways, yeah, that's just, I mean, everybody's discussing like experiences on drugs, and I remember a lot of people talking about like their experiences going to like different countries too, and like, I was able to get cocaine in this country just by walking up to a guy and asking for it. He scraped it right off the plant. And then another person was like, oh yeah, in this country I was able to buy a block of Valium or some shit. And just like, I'm just listening to what feels like, I don't know, a fucking movie, man. It was just so crazy hearing all these people talk. I mean, not that many people, like, I don't know, 8 to 10 people talking about all these different drug experiences, and it was just like everything I live for, dude. It was so cool. Everybody's talking about their DMT experiences, and oh, I dropped this many shrooms this time, and this one time on acid, and like, there's a lot of like ketamine and cocaine, and a lot of whippets too, but is a very popular one at that fucking festival, which I'm gonna talk a little bit more about. But anyways, yeah, dude, everybody's taking a fucking bump here and a bump there, and a bump everywhere, man. It was crazy. Yeah, I loved it, dude. It reminded me of like the Wolf of Wall Street. Like one of the dudes that I became really, really close with. I should have told him this, but he was giving me such a like Johnny Depp vibe. I don't know if it was just because he was doing a bunch of cocaine, but he had like these really trippy yellow glasses on, man, and he was just such a cool dude. But he was giving me hella Johnny Depp vibes, and I kept meaning to tell him, but I forgot as the festival went on. Anyways, he was a really cool dude, by the way. Maybe I'll just call him Johnny Depp. So we're sitting in the line still. It's like it was a really long line. I knew I was gonna do a lot of drugs at this festival, but I didn't realize how many, dude. So I'm sitting in this group of people all doing drugs and talking about their drug experiences and shit. And all of a sudden I get offered cocaine. And I had never done cocaine. So I was a little skeptic. I was like, it's a couple hours into the line and I'm being offered cocaine. Do I do it? No, I just wasn't really feeling it. So I was like, I'm good for now. I was thinking I was going to try it, but I was like, I'm good for the moment. And all of a sudden, one of the people in the group, everybody else is like, oh yeah, no peer pressure, you're good. And one of the people is like, nah, you gotta take a bump. And so she grabs the fucking little container of cocaine and like gets a key, puts it up to my nose, and I'm like, fuck it. So I fucking hit it. I fucking took the bump. And I just remember like looking at her, and like it took a little bit, which I wasn't expecting. I thought that like snorting stuff you would immediately feel it for some reason, but that's not really the case. It takes a little bit. It was like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and all of a sudden my vision is like zoomed in a little bit, and I felt like a little bit more, not energetic, but just like in the moment, that's like the best way of putting it. And my sinuses got so fucked. Yeah, my sinuses, every time I took a fucking bump of cocaine, it would just fucking clog up that nostril. And I don't know, I didn't really like cocaine. It was like one of my least favorite drugs of the entire week. It was like, I don't know, I just didn't understand why everybody was so obsessed with it. Everybody was doing it, and I don't know, I didn't really like it. I don't know. Anyways, my biggest fear with that drug is that I would get like immediately addicted to it and that I would love it so much. So when I didn't like it, I was so grateful, but I kept doing it because I kept getting offered it. So I just kept doing it. That first bump, I was like, all right, that's going to be the only bump that I take. It took like a few hours before I took another one, man. Anyways, so people were also taking a lot of bumps of ketamine. And I had a very I don't know. I was very scared of it because it's a horse tranquilizer, and there were some people in the group that I was in that were explaining that kind of felt the same as me, but years ago. Like this one dude who's in his early 40s was telling me that he didn't try ketamine until his late 30s because he was scared of it, or his late 20s, early 30s, because he was scared of it. And like I was totally with him, man. It kind of freaked me out for a while. But man, it's kind of fun, especially on other drugs, dude, which I'll get into later. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. I'm not a big fan of cocaine, but I was interested in ketamine. So um, I had one of my closer buddies later. I mean, we bonded really quick, but this was like one of the first moments with one of the homies, one of the really really close homies that I met at the festival. This was like one of the first interactions that like I felt like I bonded with this dude. So I'm interested in ketamine, right? So I ask, this dude sits down next to me. I'd already talked to him a bit. He said he had been to Shambhala like 12 times, and I'm obsessed with Shambhala. So I was just like, I got to hear more from this guy. This guy's got to be awesome, right? And he's like about to take a bump of K, and he offers it to me, and I'm like, I'm interested, but I kind of got to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna just let you take that. And so he takes a bump of ketamine, and I'm like, so what does it feel like? Just out of curiosity. I always feel like drugs are so hard to explain, but he did a pretty good job. From what I remember, keep in mind I was, on mushrooms, and like I was being offered weed, and like I was not sober, to say the least. I was also given some beers, and like, dude, yeah, it was so crazy. Oh man. Also, you should be pretty mindful of like how much you're doing of certain things. You aren't supposed to mix stuff like that, which everybody was. And I hate to admit this, but I kind of just followed suit, So, anyways, back to the story. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, or he tells me about like what he thinks ketamine feels like. He says that it makes you feel a little like wobbly, maybe a little drunk, and like it kind of distorts your vision a little bit, maybe. Not really. I mean, he didn't really think that there was much of like a visual aspect to ketamine, and I would honestly agree, unless you're on other drugs, which, like I said, I'll get into later. So, yeah, he's like kind of telling me about what it feels like, and again, I'm still at the point where I feel like where I thought that you take a bump of something and you feel it like that, just immediately, and that's not the case. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, which is the porta potties, and that's always such a weird experience walking through all these tightly cramped cars. You're hearing like one style of EDM to the left, another style of EDM to the left, and another style of EDM a little bit further down, and like all different volumes, and like more bassy over here, and like just it's fucking crazy. And then you're hearing, oh, I'm gonna take a bump at this. Oh, what are you doing tonight? Are you doing shrooms? Oh, hey, how late are you staying up? Are you doing any drugs? Like, it's just you constantly hearing about drugs, man, and that's all everybody's talking about. Anyways, so we make it to the porta potty, and we're standing there, and we're talking and chatting, whatever. We go to the bathroom, we meet up, and we're like, all right, time to walk back. And I'm letting my homie lead the way back, because I'm like, I've never done anything like this. This was my first festival ever, man. And this line was like the most intense shit I've like ever experienced. It was crazy. So I'm like, you lead the way back, and he just took a bump of ketamine. So he's like, he's walking, and he kind of like stops. And I'm like, uh-oh, and he's like, do you know which way's back? And I'm like, I was following you, man. He's like, oh shit. And we like walk a little bit further and boom, there's our spot, you know. And we're just like chuckling and making jokes and shit. And he's like telling me a little bit more. Oh, that's the other thing. He like kind of like wobbled at one point. He like had to like grab my shoulder and like balance himself, I think. Because it was like a little crazy for a second. The ketamine was, you know. Um, Anyways, and we're like making jokes and shit. And he just like, he looks like he's having fun. And so I'm just, we get back to our little seats and I sit down and everybody's like giggling at us and stuff because we look like idiots. And I sit down, you know, and I'm like totally interested in taking a bump K. But it starts to get kind of later and people start to settle in and put the drugs away and take naps and, you know, just kind of chilling. And there was this, I'm not going to say his name, like I said, but there was this crazy motherfucker that was just like, man, that guy was like, that dude was a drug fiend, man. Like, I feel that, looking back at myself, I felt that at moments, but that dude just was like taking bumps like crazy, man. He had so much fucking cocaine on his face the entire time that I talked to him. I swear he had fucking cocaine on his face. Because he was just like doing it nonstop, and he was like the most, I don't know how to explain it. He was a cool dude. I'm not talking shit or anything. Like, he was so much fun. But he just like, I don't know, I had never seen anything like him, but I also felt like I had, you know? Like, I never met the guy before, but he also looked so familiar. Like, he just looked like such a cokehead or something, man. I don't know. Love the guy, and he's hilarious, but my God, he took me off guard when I first met him. Anyways, fuck. I hope I'm not just like screaming into this mic half the time. I'm just so pumped about this fucking festival, dude. And this was just the line. Oh, and keep in mind, I didn't start, or the festival doesn't start technically until Friday, and this is like, I'm in the line Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Anyways, it was so much fun in that line. I felt like I bonded with everybody, and it was just like, I could tell that it was gonna be a fucking fun week, dude. Eventually, it gets pretty late. The sky was fucking wild. It was like this purplish sky, and there were so many stars, more than I've ever seen. It almost looked fake. Maybe it was just because I was tripping a little bit, but it it was fucking weird, dude. Eventually, we make it. It's like a 12-hour fucking line, dude. It just it was just stuck for the longest fucking time, but eventually our line starts moving, and we get through security. It was pretty easy going. They don't like alcohol. They'll confiscate that if they find it, but I think that's really about it. They didn't seem to mind anything else. I'm pretty sure that they saw the shroom, the like 3 gram shroom that I had sitting in my backpack. I think they saw that because my backpack had moved and it was like not hidden at all, and I had like a weed pen and shit. But it wasn't too bad. We got through quick, and we set up our area in Sunshine, which is like the really, really fucking hot area. It was a lot. Yeah, that's about all I had written for this podcast. But I think I'm gonna continue it maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It's only at 30 minutes right now, and that's probably more like a couple minutes less than that with my lazy editing. So I'll probably continue this, but I'm getting a little tired and my nose is all fucked because I'm a little sick. But yeah, I will continue this tomorrow. Thanks for listening so far. I'm gonna probably talk about well, my first day, Wednesday, and describe the camp a little bit more probably. And yeah. Okay. So it's about 24 hours later. like I think I said. And we're going to continue into Wednesday. So, when I was preparing, like, because this is such a crazy fucking festival, man, I have to take this day by day when I'm explaining it. Like, I gotta explain each day at a time, and I need to, like, write it all down because anybody that's listened to my podcast, I tend to jump all over the place. And anyways, so with Wednesday, man, maybe it's just been a little bit, I don't know, but thinking back on it, I could not remember shit, dude. I started writing stuff down, and the first thing I wrote was barely remember Wednesday. And as I started writing stuff down, I started writing more stuff down and remembering more things. And before I knew it, I had like an entire page of stuff to talk about. So, we'll see how long this takes to explain. But, anyways, so I woke up on Wednesday, and I feel like the start of it was everybody just kind of like setting up their camp, you know. It was a big area that we were all sharing, but I feel like I'm talking really loud. Sorry. It was a very large area, right? That we were all sharing, and everybody had like canopies to set up, all sorts of shit. So that's kind of what Wednesday morning was, I feel like. That was also, I think I said that that's what we did in like the middle of the night. It was still like the sun was starting to rise when we were all setting up our camping stuff, and then everybody kind of like went and took a nap. But then everybody got back up in the morning because the heat is horrible in the area that we were in. It gets hot at like 9 in the morning is when I kept waking up, no matter what, because it's just fucking brutal, dude. It's so ridiculously hot. Anyways. So, yeah, I took my first bump of K at some point. I don't even remember it, dude. I was trying to remember, and I fucking can't. It's probably because I was drinking like throughout the day because I kept being offered things. I don't know, man. And I was smoking weed the whole time. Johnny, one of my homie, one of my close homies, he brought like a fucking gigantic bag of weed, like a sandwich bag stuffed full of weed, man. It was easily an ounce, probably more. And I couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, wow, you brought a little bit of weed? And he was, or I said, you brought a lot of weed. And he was like, just a little bit. And it was just like, it was a fucking lot. I'm so glad that I didn't have to buy drugs or bring drugs because everybody just hooked it up there. I was a bit of a leech. I wasn't trying to be. But everybody just kept offering me drugs. I didn't ask a single person for drugs. Except for, like, I asked a few times if I could smoke, but that was it. I didn't ever ask for anything else. If I took somebody's drugs, they offered it to me, you know? If that makes sense. And boy, was I offered a lot of drugs! So most of Wednesday was a lot of cocaine and a lot of ketamine with Johnny. And everybody else. Everybody else was doing a lot of cocaine and ketamine as well. But some people weren't. Yeah. Anyways. So we went down to the river, I don't know, probably like early afternoon. And, yeah, the river was cool. It was like not super packed on Wednesday because everybody's still kind of funneling into the festival until Friday. And yeah, so it was cool. I mean, it was pretty chill. There's people always like with huge speakers blasting music, and everybody's doing a shitload of drugs, and there's so many naked people. It's primarily females. It's a lot of chicks that are naked, usually with their boobs out. There's a guy here and there that you'll see, you know. Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty cool going to the river, except for how hot it is, and there's so many rocks, dude. I didn't bring. This was probably the biggest thing I should have brought that I didn't realize was flip-flops or like sandals, because the rocks are horrible, and if you bring regular shoes they just get totally covered in dust in like almost an unsalvageable way. and the water is fucking freezing, dude. I it's pretty bad. They were saying that it wasn't that bad this year. It was colder previous years, but to me it was fucking freezing. I almost wanted to stay in the sun at times. But when you do go into that water and you pop back out, you feel like rejuvenated, man. You feel like you just like came alive again or something because you're so drowsy and unenergized when the sun is just beaming down on you, and like everybody's doing drugs and shit, and some people are drinking and offering you a drink here and there, and your hydration usually isn't very good. I mean, even if you're drinking a lot, it's probably still not very good just because of the environment you're in. Anyways, I tend, and I feel like a lot of people felt this, that it's just you feel very unenergized during the day, and by the end of the fucking week, it was bad, man. Not a single day of cloud coverage or anything was. It was a lot, and yeah, it really takes your energy away being in that intense heat. But like I said, the river, jumping into it, kind of resets you a little bit, and yeah, it doesn't make it so bad. If the river wasn't there, some people were saying that if the river wasn't there, that they wouldn't go to the festival, and I might, I don't know. It's a pretty tough festival, and at night it does cool off, so it's not that bad. It's just that during the day, it's absolutely brutal. Fear not, and meta camping, another area of camping, if you don't know Shambhala, that's like covered with a lot of trees, so there's shade and it's not as hot, but sunshine is just straight beaming sun down on you, and it's fucking terrible. So, anyways, everybody's kind of like wandering around. I think that there were some vendors open, but I don't remember going through anything all that much. I do remember walking by the amp, one of the stages, and there was somebody just like blasting music. I think that they were like testing the sound or something. They had it all blocked off and shit, so I knew that it wasn't open, but it was still like cool to see how loud the fucking stage was. It was blowing my mind before this festival was even starting. But Johnny is like, I got a homie that's got a trailer here, and he's got a lot of ketamine and cocaine. You want to go do a bunch of lines with him? And me being me, I'm like, fuck yeah. So he's like, all right, we just got to walk a little ways. He's a volunteer, so he's parked really close to the stages. And so I'm like, all right, lead the way, man. And his girlfriend was with him as well. Absolutely amazing human being. She was the coolest fucking person. And, yeah. Anyways. But we're walking there, I'm fucking pretty out of it. Not like fucked up, but I was just like, I mean, I was doing bumps of K. I was in the fucking sun a bunch, and yeah, just I wasn't all there. But we make it to his trailer, and I think that we met up with him before we were even at his trailer. He just happened to be walking around, and he was like, "Oh yeah, follow me, guys." And yeah, so his trailer was so fucking nice, man. It was like air conditioned, and it was very new. It was like a very new trailer, and yeah. So we're sitting in there, and he like he just pulls out like massive amounts of fucking cocaine and ketamine, and he's just feeding ketamine lines and cocaine bumps, and like he had this glass fucking straw, man. It was very like Wolf of Wall Street or like Johnny Depp vibes. It was pretty cool, honestly. Um, oh shit, fuck! I'm getting a little feedback. Sorry about that. So, yeah, we're doing these lines and just talking and hanging out, and I don't know. Cocaine and ketamine are weird, especially to combine. I don't really feel that like high. I don't know how to explain it. I think ketamine is much different on other drugs, but anyways, I did have a pretty crazy moment though. So we're just like sitting in his trailer doing a bunch of drugs, hanging out, and he pulls out this vape, man. The coolest fucking vape I've ever seen. It was like a little, like a Saltnik one, like a smaller handheld, like a tiny one. I don't know how to explain it, you know. The ones that everybody's are using now. Not a big ass like mod one that like has 3 nicotine and you can blow giant clouds with, you know. Like one of the strong ass tiny ones. Anyways, it was like it had these lights embedded in it on the side, and it would like just like light up random patterns, and it was so fucking trippy. And I was like, can I take a hit of that? And I haven't hit a vape or had any nicotine since October of last year. And I knew I was going to break my streak going into this festival, but I was like, I'm going to try and only like take a hit here and there when I'm super fucked up so that I like don't even really feel it, you know? Or if I do, it's, I don't know. Anyways, so I mean, I was pretty fucked up on the K, honestly. And I take a couple hits out of this vape, and it, like, I think it sent me into a fucking K-hole, honestly. I just would, like, I don't even remember handing the vape back to him. And all of a sudden, I just remember being, like, frozen, just sitting in his chair. I couldn't talk. I couldn't even think of anything to say. I was just stuck, dude. And I couldn't move. I'm glad that the people around me didn't seem to realize that I was like, I wasn't panicking, but I was very like, I was a bit like, I was kind of freaked out, but I was also just like kind of letting it happen, you know. It was trippy, dude. It felt like I was just kind of like trapped in my own body for a second. I don't know, it was weird. I've never had anything like that happen to me, but after hearing other people explain what their experiences are with K-holes, I'm pretty damn certain that that's what happened, and I'm pretty sure that it was the fucking vape that sent me into it. I think I was probably already pretty close to having a K-hole, and then I think the vape just like fucking sent me right there. It was a really, really trippy experience, and I still haven't told any of the people that I was with that I had a fucking K-hole. Because, I mean, at the time, I didn't really know what happened. I was just like, whoa, that was fucking weird when I, like, kind of came to again. And then I was, like, walking around, dude. And this is when I really, truly felt the fucking ketamine, man. It feels like you're fucking drunk, dude. When you're walking around, like, you're so wobbly and, like, you almost fall onto shit. And, like, you have to like hold yourself up or something, dude. I don't know. It's fucking weird. It's a very, very wacky drug, but a lot of fun. I really liked it. Cocaine, not so much, but the ketamine, oh man, it was weird at times, especially when I was on shrooms. But anyways, yeah. So I think we got out of there, and I remember walking out of there. I just felt like I got hit. I just felt like lightheaded or something, man. I don't know. It was weird. But I think we just went back to camp, and then at nighttime, that's when we like kind of went back. So at night, it was mostly just a bunch of vendors open, like a bunch of food vendors and clothing vendors. I did get some poutine, but I was pretty fucking high, and I don't really remember much of what it was like. I got poutine later in the festival, and it was pretty fucking good. I think I might have gotten it like 2 or 3 times. I know I got at least twice. Yeah. So yeah, I was drinking quite a bit at night, doing a bunch of bumps, and we went to this like sweet fucking renegade stage. We're just wandering around, you know, and there's this renegade stage with palm trees on the sides. In this, I don't even remember what kind of music they were playing, but I remember this dude at the front of the stage was like messing around. He was like swinging this fucking lightsaber flow toy around, and it was trippy as fuck, man. It was so dope, and I wanted to get on that stage so fucking bad. I don't know why, but I was so close to just running up to the stage and asking if I could get up there. But I think like my sanity kicked in and was like, "Don't do that, you idiot." That was a shit ton of fun. That little rave, that little mini rave. It wasn't that many people. It was probably like 50 or so people standing around this Renegade stage, but it was pretty dope. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, so it ended at midnight. I guess that they go around and shut down all the Renegade stages, like security or something goes around and shuts all the Renegade stages down at midnight, which is like kind of stupid, but I get it. It's not, you're not technically supposed to be doing that, I don't think. I mean, like they're, I don't know, it's like the drugs, man. Like they're not going to really stop you unless you're like really not really doing something you're not supposed to be. I don't know. Anyway, we then went back to camp, and there were like a bunch of Australian people that were camping kind of in our area, but in their own like section. And they like flowed into our camp for that night, and we did a bunch of drugs. This like group of 20, 25 people all sitting in this gigantic circle. Just everybody's just taking bump after bump, man. It was fucking wild. I've never experienced anything like that. Like literally every single person in this circle was taking bumps. It was fucking ridiculous. It was really cool though. But then I got like really fucking tired. I went and took a piss and I came back and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna pass out. And so I went to bed at like, I think it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I don't remember. I was like, I just want to get on with the festival, man. I want to hear some music. Yeah, and that was pretty much the end of Wednesday. It was a very, very weird day, but man, it just gets crazier and crazier, and the festival still hasn't fucking started, man. Thursday is a really, really fun day. That's probably like my second favorite day out of the entire week was Thursday, and I think my favorite was Friday for sure. Saturday and Sunday were dope too, but I don't know. I'll explain more. You know, because Saturday was, we didn't listen to the best music, I think, and Sunday it was the last day of the festival, so that's just like automatically sad, you know. But anyway, got some pretty exciting stuff to come up. I think I'm only at like, yeah, about 50 minutes, so I'll probably come back tomorrow and continue with Thursday, I guess, because I don't know if I have it in me to spend like another at least 30 minutes talking about Thursday. That was a good day. Yeah, I'll probably just save it for tomorrow. Anyways, yeah. All right, I'll be back in a little while. Alrighty, everybody. Okay. So it's about a day later again, and I'm going to be talking about Thursday, which was, like I said, one of my favorite days. And yeah, let's get into it. So I think I got up probably around 9 or 10. I got up around the same time every day because the fucking heat, man. But anyways, so I get up slow, and like I said, I kind of just dipped out at one point, and Johnny, my homie, was like, when I got up, he was sitting in the chair. He was like one of the only people up, and he was like, dude, I didn't know where you went last night. You went to the bathroom and never came back. And I was like, dude, yeah, I was tired. And yeah, I kind of just passed the fuck out, dude. So I think we kind of just like sat around and smoked and hung out for like the first few hours. And then yeah, the daytime as the week went on got like, in my opinion, a little bit more boring. I don't know. It wasn't boring during the day. It was just a lot less exciting during the nighttime, and you're just getting baked in the sun. And like I said, it just absolutely takes away all of your energy, or it took away all my energy. Even when I was trying to stay hydrated as possible, it just like wasn't happening, man. Yeah, so we when I wanted to hear some live music, and some people in the group were like, "Yeah, let's show you the stages for the first time," because I think I was the only person in the group whose first time it was out of like, I don't know, 15 fucking people. I think I was the only one who had been there whose first time it was. So, anyways, some of the veterans of the festival in the group were like, "Yeah, let's take you by the stage real quick." So we saw S2 was the name of the DJ, and I can't really remember exactly what it was, but I mean, he was all right. He was literally the first DJ of the whole festival. He wasn't going to be bad, you know. I don't really remember that set very much. I think we caught pretty much the end of it, like the last 20 minutes or so. And the rest of the group is like, we're gonna go to the river, and me and Johnny are like kind of enjoying it. We're like, we're gonna hang out and keep listening to some music. So then we're like taking bumps of cocaine and ketamine here and there, you know, and smoking a little bit of weed. And I remember, just a side note, Johnny being like, I just love adding weed onto everything, man. Weed just goes with everything. You know, because you can't mix certain things with other things. I mean, depending on the person. But he was like, weed just goes with everything, man. I was like, fuck yeah, it does. It does, in my opinion. Like, I'll do anything and then add weed with it. Just guaranteed, dude. And I'll explain that later in the podcast. But anyways, so this dude called Smith, period, just like Smith with a period after it, comes on, and from what I remember, it was fucking dubsteppy as fuck. When I looked him back up on Spotify, it was a little bit more like heavy bass with some dubstep, but from what I remember, it was straight like dubstep. Dude was giving me fucking Subtronics vibes, man. He had this like long hair and was just throwing the fuck down, man. And you can check some of that out on my Instagram, Not For Thought. I just posted something today on the 6th of in August about that set exactly. Like he goes pretty hard. And it's the first day before the festival on Thursday. You know, like it's not the actual start of the festival, but they have 2 stages open, so there's a little bit of music. And I didn't expect the amp to be as fucking awesome as it was. I totally underestimated it. Its visuals are on point, and the sound quality is fucking amazing. They have what's called PK sound, and it's just like the best, most incredible sound I've ever fucking heard in my life. I swear to God. And I've been to plenty of concerts, but this was on another fucking level, man. Anyways, I'll get more into that later. But this guy's throwing down, and me and Johnny are like doing bumps here and just getting real fucked up as we're like fucking headbanging and shit. This guy was throwing down so hard, and it was a lot of fun. One of my favorite sets from that day, for sure. And then we're kind of like, let's go to the river, you know, like probably 2/3 of the way through his set. We're like, yeah, let's dip. And we're just like walking, and all of a sudden I'm like, yo, let's go to the wishing tree, because I had heard about it already and seen like pictures and videos of it. So I knew what it was, and I was like, let's go there. And Johnny's like, dude, that's where we're headed, man. And 2 seconds later we're there, and we both wrote down, I don't remember what I wrote. Oh, I do remember. I wrote that I never want to go home. And I'm gonna come back to that later, because I almost like didn't. Anyway, I don't remember what Johnny wrote. It was something funny. And yeah, so we continued on our way, went to the river to meet up with the rest of the group, which was like 10 people probably, and hung out there for a little while. Gotta love the river. Also, it's like you can't wash yourself, like you can't use soap in the river, but just taking a dip and like cleaning all the dust and shit off of you is so fucking nice, man. And there are showers there. I heard that they were really expensive, so I just kind of wooked it out and jumped in the river every fucking day. Just like clean myself up that way. Man, I smell like shit coming home. So I don't think we spent too much time at the river that day. I think we went back to camp. I don't honestly remember, but I'm pretty sure that we went back to camp for a minute and then we went back out for ski tour, which was I already knew that was going to be a popular set. That they're pretty well known for especially at this festival. So I knew that we were going to all try to go see them, which I was happy about, you know. But anyways, it was pretty fucking packed at this stage at the amp. But it was pretty fun. It was a cool set, you know. They got like people dancing and stuff on stage and doing all sorts of like I don't know how to explain it, like performances and shit on stage. The amp is so fucking cool. That's definitely like one of my favorite stages at that festival. It's a fucking awesome stage, man. Especially since I just didn't expect it to be. I thought it was going to be like a pretty boring stage, but it turned out to be really fucking dope. All the stages were pretty fucking cool, but the amp just like really impressed me every time I was in there. Every time I would be like, wow, this fucking stage is awesome. And the next time I'd be like, yo, this stage is fucking awesome. So, after ski tour, that was a really fun set. Took a lot of pictures with people and like just had a good time. This dude, everybody was passing around like these bags of ice, man, because it was so fucking hot. People were straight up passing around bags of ice to like put on their shoulders and shit. But this dude kept handing me this bag of ice, and like I would like put it on my shoulders, cool off for a second, then I would hand it back to him. And one of the times he just like handed me a joint, and I was like, oh sweet, and I took a hit of it, you know, and I let one of my homies standing next to me take a hit of it too, and then I gave it back to him, you know. And then a little bit later, he like turns around and hands me the ice again, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, thanks, man. I give it back to him, and then he hands me a fucking dab pen. I take a hit of that and hand it back to him. It was so fucking fun. It was the coolest set, man. The people you just have like random little interactions with are just amazing. Like that guy just like made that fucking set for me, and I don't even know his name or like who he is or anything. I don't know. Cool experience. But ski tour ends and fucking Ahi comes on. Ahee. He's pretty well known, I feel like, and I feel like he's very heavy bass from what I remember. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay. His high energy bass focused new bounce and breaks tracks. That's what it says on the Shambhala app. It was very like wook music, man. Like just bass as fuck and like really, really good beats though at the same time. I was in love with it. I really dug it. This was a crazy fucking set, man. So we one of my Johnny, everybody else I think like dipped out or went to another stage or something. The other stage was the living room, but I went there at one point with Johnny and his girlfriend, and it was a cool vibe. But it was like I don't know, like the amp was just so impressive. It's just like it was where I wanted to be. You know, nothing against the living room. The music was amazing there, and the people were cool. But the amp is just what drew me, and most of the group. Like everybody was pretty much at the amp the entire day and night. Ski tour was at 4:45 p.m. and honestly, I remember it being earlier in the day than that. It wasn't, but it felt earlier in the day to me. And I think we probably caught like the end of the set. Like maybe they played for an hour and a half. So we probably caught like the last 30 to 45 minutes of it. And it was packed, dude, but people were going hard and jamming out. It was a fun time. So Ahi, Johnny has this friend that's at the festival. Everybody like knows a bunch of people, like here and there. You're constantly, well, everybody else was constantly running into people that they knew. I wasn't. I mean, the people that I knew in the camp, sure, but I mean, it was my first time at the festival, so. Anyway, Ahi is bumping really, really fucking hard with this like bass heavy music, and Johnny goes and dips out to the front of the stage for a little bit to meet up with one of his friends, right? And then he comes back and he's like, "Dude, that was super crazy. We should go up there." And so like 10 minutes of go by and we're like, "All right, yeah, let's get in there." And so we go into like the lower level and get pretty fucking close to the stage, man. And I've never experienced music like this before. It was incredible. I thought that we were feeling the music in the back of the stage. No, 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 no. I mean, if Red Rocks here in Colorado is bumping, I've been pretty close to the stage, and like you feel it in your chest, that like bass pounding in your chest. But this was different. This was crazier. This was like every hair on my arms and legs would like shake because of how fucking intense this music is. And it's not just like incredibly loud, like just blaring at you. Like the music, you can hear it if you have earplugs in. I don't know how it was without earplugs because I pretty much wore them the entire festival. I bought some very early in the festival because I wanted a good experience, and the people in my group suggested that it would be best to just get your plugs early on and not go through the pain of just like toughing it out. And for how close we were to some of the stages, like I'm glad that I hate your plugs, sorry. Anyways, so we get up in there and it was just so fucking loud, dude. I remember all of us these people had been there before. Johnny and his girlfriend had been there before. I remember like the music stopped and you would straight up like you would like have to breathe for a second, man. It would straight up take your breath away, and that's not a fucking joke. Everybody would feel it too. Like I remember Johnny's girlfriend being like, "Holy shit," and like I could see her like breathing with me, and I just don't know how else to explain it. It straight up takes your breath away, and you don't realize it until the music stops, and then you're like, "Whoa, holy shit, I can breathe again," because it's just so fucking loud, dude. It's not just in your chest, it's your entire body that's feeling this fucking bass. It's wild, bro. It was so dope. Oh my god. Anyways, it was so wook too, man. Like everybody in there, that was very close to the stage was just like so hippie and wookie. I loved it. I loved it. It was so cool. It was such a whack experience, and I'm fucked up on ketamine and cocaine, and it was just so weird. It was awesome. Definitely an awesome experience. Shout out to Ahi for fucking killing his set at Shambhala. Yeah. That was a really, really cool experience. And then Ahi ended his set, and I think we were kind of like, all right, let's go. I don't remember who came on after that. That might have been when we went to the living room, actually. And we weren't really... It was fun, but we were like, let's go back to camp for a little bit. I don't know if we went back to camp. No, yeah, we definitely did. I'm pretty sure. And later in the night, we go to John Casey at 9 o'clock, or sorry, 8:45 at night. And that was like about an hour after. Actually, no, we probably got there kind of late. I feel like we saw like the last 45 minutes of his set. So we probably got there around like 9:30, which was about an hour and 45 after Ahi finished his set. So yeah, I think we went back to camp and like hung out for a little bit, and then went back out to see John Casey, and that was drum and bass, but I was into it. Not gonna lie, drum and bass is probably my least favorite style of EDM, but he was a lot of fun. He was like very wacky and alien. I don't know. It was trippy, and the visuals are so fucking dope at the amp, man. You straight up feel like you're like on a spaceship or something when you're at that stage. It's so cool. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Did lots of ketamine and cocaine, and then Cannabis comes on, who was so fucking good. Another like heavy bass, just like really wook ass fucking music that bumps like a motherfucker. She was a shitload of fun. I dug that fucking set. Yeah, we pretty much hung out at the amp the entire night. I mean, I don't know if we saw the guy after. Oh yeah, no, we did. So Aspen King was who came on after Cannabis, and that was a fun set. It was like house music, but she like she added sound effects that were very similar to Fisher's music. If you know who that is, he's like a really really popular DJ that plays fucking good house music, in my opinion. And she was giving off sound effects, giving off a very Fisher vibe, which I I was really digging. Yeah, that was a cool set as well. But I think because I was on ketamine and cocaine and I was drinking and smoking weed, I think it just like kind of flew by very fast. I mean, the whole week felt like it went by way too fucking quick, you know? But anyways, so that set ended, which was it was a really really good set. And then I think we went back to camp. Like maybe we stayed for like 30, 45 minutes of Aspen King, who was like the house DJ that sounded like Fisher. And then I think we came back for like maybe the last hour of Long Walk, Short Dock, which is a really, really popular set. 'Cause I remember us walking in and it being so fucking cramped. Like you have to hold hands when you're walking through this crowd or else you're going to lose your group. So we end up getting to like a spot where we're all digging it and doing so many drugs, man. Everybody's just going hard. And like I said, it's the first day, so everybody's like still pretty energized and just like throwing the fuck down. It was intense. And long walk, short dock. God, such a long name. Played very interesting music. That was a really, really cool set. I was enjoying myself there, man. He was killing it, and he threw out all these like inflatable things, like a bunch of spaceships, and like that made it really feel like I was like about to float to the fucking moon or something. When he started throwing out all these alien float, like not floaties, but like blow up things, and yeah, it was a cool set. And then he like smashes his keytar thing at the end of his set, which is pretty dope. It was a lot of fun, man. But it just flew by. Like even just talking about it, I think this is one of the fastest days that I've gone through, and it was so much fucking fun, but it was probably so much fun because I was so fucked up. You know? I don't fucking know. But yeah, Long Walk Short Dock, shitload of fun. Definitely a set you gotta see if you go to this festival. It was way better than I thought. I thought it was gonna be kind of a boring set, to be honest, but no, he really really impressed me. Yeah, really cool. I just remember being so fucked up at his set too. Yeah. But I don't remember much else from that night, to be honest. I remember walking back to camp, and that's about it. Like, I don't remember. Maybe it'll come to me, but I don't remember if we like hung out for a little bit at camp and then went to bed, or if I just like went right to bed. I can't fucking remember. I'm sure it'll come to me eventually, but anyways, yeah, I guess that's pretty much all of Thursday. It was a really really dope day. I hope that I explained enough about how good the fucking sound is, man. it's so loud, but also the quality of it is just impeccable. I can't describe it. You just got to experience it. And yeah. Oh, also, I remember just like vibing with so many people. I think it was Long Walk Short Doc or maybe John Casey. I don't know. But people are just like fucking partying so hard, man. I love the vibe around there. Everybody's so fucking cool. Every single person is dancing. Maybe some people are like not going super hard, but I remember at one point, like every time people are, you'll always like get people trying to walk through the crowd, trying to change their spot or leave or whatever. And most of the time people are like dancing as they're walking through, and I just remember the turning around, just like looking around to see if there were any totems or whatever, I don't know. And this chick was just like fucking, we just like made eye contact and just like started dancing with each other for a quick second, and then like I don't know, 10 seconds go by and she walks away and like whatever, and it was just like such a dope experience, man. There was just so many moments like that where people were just like throwing down with me randomly, and I don't know, it was really cool. Anyways, I think I think that's about it for Thursday. I'm guessing I just like got back to camp, probably smoked weed, hung out for a little bit and passed out, but I really don't remember. All right, I'll come back tomorrow to talk about Friday, which was my favorite fucking day. Hopefully, I go into detail enough about it, because it was fucking insane. One of the trippiest experiences of my fucking life. Yeah. All right. All right. So I changed my mind. I think I'm actually going to split this into two podcasts. This first one's going to be up until now, up until Thursday. And then the second one, I'm going to do the rest of the experience Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and going home. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. And I'll be back with the second part here pretty soon. Thanks for listening.